Welcome to the Musings of Jessica Marie. As a proud alumna of the University of Georgia, I spent many years in Athens growing and developing into a young adult. I attended sporting events, played a vital role in my housing community as a resident assistant, and even met my husband while taking a journalism class. The very dorm I lived in for 3 years, unbeknownst to me, was actually a catalyst for decimating an entire thriving Black neighborhood not even 100 years ago. Join me as we shine a historical spotlight on Linnentown. Linnentown was a predominantly Black neighborhood in Athens, Georgia, located along Baxter Street. The first homes were initially built as early as 1900 and grew to be a bustling community of about 50 families across 22 acres. It was a proud and close-knit community, even though the residents experienced hardships due to segregation and racial discrimination. Many of the homeowners were skilled artisans, plumbers, electricians, and architects. Despite the system of racial injustice prohibiting them from earning high wages, at least 85% of homes were owner-occupied. In 1958, Abe Thomas built a home in Linnentown and relied on the kind support of the community to make his dream of home ownership a reality, since he was only making $10 a week as a day laborer. In 1962, UGA and the city of Athens received a grant through the Federal Urban Renewal Program that forced out the community by eminent domain to build the dorms and parking lots we know now as Russell Hall, Creswell Hall, and Brumby Hall, exactly where Linnentown once stood. The residents of the community were not informed of the project until renters started getting evicted from the homes and construction trucks began rolling in. By 1966, all traces of the neighborhood were gone and all residents were forced to move. Jerry Shannon, an associate geography professor for UGA, estimates that the project cost residents over $5 million of lost generational wealth due to the severe undervaluing of property at the time of sale and being forced to relocate into areas with poor property values. Geneva Johnson and Hattie Thomas Whitehead were two former residents of Linnentown who began the Linnentown project in September 2019 to advocate for reparations and a memorial on the site. While there is a historical marker for a Black school named Jarrell Academy in the area, there are no other signs of the vibrant community that once existed there. Their effort paid off, and in February 2021, Athens Mayor Kelly Girtz publicly apologized for the role the city played in destroying Linnentown. There was a unanimous approval by the Athens-Clarke County Commission that followed quickly after in favor of redress, including the establishment of the Athens Justice and Memory Project and creation of a memory wall. The University of Georgia, however, has blocked efforts to create a memorial on the former site of the town. What happened to Linnentown was not a one-off event, especially during that time in history. There were multiple thriving Black neighborhoods and communities that were unfortunately sabotaged and burned. Numerous families were displaced and lost their homes, wealth, and even lives. Almost all of those displaced from Linnentown were forced to rent or move into public housing. Many, like Abe Thomas, would never own a home again. The story of Linnentown reflects a broader pattern of urban renewal projects that impacted Black neighborhoods across the U.S. in the mid-20th century. Today, descendants seek recognition and restitution and have sparked national conversations around reparations and historical injustice. The legacy of Linnentown reminds us of the ongoing struggle for equity and reminds us of America's detrimental urban development practices. Going through history and correcting these atrocities is the first step to progressing forward as a country. There were things done that can't be undone. There are still things being done that fortunately can be stopped with enough action and outrage. It's up to us to continue lifting the legacy of our ancestors and fighting against injustice experienced by our community. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Signed, Jessica Marie.